Today we're going to talk about the Catholic resurgence in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Um, Prior to the late 19th century, the Catholic Church had mostly existed in America, just in Maryland, Boston, New York, and Chicago, with obviously monasteries and little mission outposts around the country. But there was not a whole lot known about the Catholic Church by the Protestants, so there was an awful lot of suspicion and misunderstanding. However, in the late 19th century, I keep wanting to say 1800s, the Catholic Church began a beautiful process of coming out of the shadows and into more mainstream America. As America became home to thousands upon thousands of new immigrants, and most of them from countries that didn't speak English, and most of those countries were Catholic. The Catholic Church really stepped up and helped these immigrants to integrate into American society. They took up educating them, helping them find jobs, helping them get fair treatment at these jobs, and helping them to understand this new culture that they were all of a sudden a part of. Most of these immigrants, a large many of them, were quite traumatized coming over here, especially the ones that were coming over here before and after World War I, and then especially also during the time before World War II, in the interwar period. So the Catholics began to help with health care, and they helped during the Great Depression also with feeding the people who didn't have food. They were in every city, and it didn't matter if you were Catholic or not. They would help you if you were hungry. And that really went a long way to opening up understanding between the Protestants and the Catholics in America. Another thing that happened as the modernism started to creep in, the Protestants found themselves with a valuable ally in the Catholics. The Catholics had begun in this period a renaissance, if you will, of scholasticism and intellectualism that was very capable in fighting against some of these awful things that were shaking the Christian world and our country. So they found themselves allying a lot of times and doing each other a whole lot of good. With the advent of radio, you began to find a lot more good and bad, obviously, but there were a lot of good radio shows that were put out, like the Catholic Hour and things like that, that a lot of the Protestants listened to and found that there was an awful lot of common ground with conservatism. And the other thing that started happening was, obviously, with Hollywood, there were a lot of movies and things, and some of these movies were portraying immigrants in other races in a terrible light, and practices such as immorality and things like that in the 20s, the Roaring 20s, in the 1920s. The Catholic Church got together with other Protestant people. Most people give the Catholic Church more credit in this than they necessarily had entirely, but they had a powerful force with this immense amount of people, and there were a lot of people that were outcrying against the immorality in movies, and so the people in the Catholic Church and the Protestant Church that were involved in Hollywood and the Jewish people got together and decided to police themselves in this manner, and thus began the Golden Age of Hollywood. Now, the Golden Age of Hollywood did more to help there be an understanding between the Protestants and the Catholics than just about anything else did. The because it got it to the most people mainstream that the Catholics were concerned about the same issues as the Protestants. They were for strong families. They were for helping the poor. Um, they were for helping the underdog, the genuine one, to be elevated and lifted up and helped. And they were also patriotic in these movies. I'm sure everyone is familiar, hopefully still, with the movie It's a Wonderful Life. And that was actually a Catholic movie as well. Other ones such as Boys Town and The Bells of St. Mary's and other movies that had positive portrayals of the priests put a very positive feeling toward the Catholics. It took a lot of the suspicion and superstition surrounding the church and showed that, hey, we are just doing the same thing as you. We're kind of just really just another denomination among the Christian faith. Now, obviously, there were a lot of problems that surrounded World War II, but that's pretty much the end of this period of history that we're looking at. Everything changed in the whole world at that time, not just the Catholic Church. But nonetheless, it was the general care for the poor, whether you were of their denomination or not, the sick, the needy, the hurting, the unemployed, the oppressed workers, helping the immigrants to integrate and understand their country. They also helped the migrating African Americans who were coming from the South and up to the northern cities to be able to integrate into that, because it was a greatly different culture up there, and that was known as the Black Belt of Catholicism as well. They also helped the Native Americans during this time period in a mighty way, alongside the Protestants, to help these people not to be exterminated during the Indian Wars, to help them preserve their languages, to help them be educated in such a way that they could integrate into American society and not be considered a threat, but to be seen in a more sympathetic light and to be seen as the valuable human beings that they were. And they did the same for the immigrants. And anyway, it was just really an amazing time for the Catholic Church and for America. And I thank you very, very much for watching my presentation. You have a